Hello everybody, it is Monday the 15th of November. Today I want to talk about repentance, which is actually a correction, and the correction of for myself I ask nothing, and also how this repentance should work. And that is why we should continuously give to one another. And we should make it our duty to be a balanced part in the whole. I mean, we can be what we are as long as we are in balance with everything else. So, and we can branch out to the extent where we do not interfere negatively on other things. So that is, but then, as I said, we need to see our four cornerstones, our four branches, which is the desire to receive, the desire to give, and those are worked by the intellect, by the thought. And then the emotional knowledge of nothing is possible is actually just the knowledge of this world as we perceive it now, the forms that we have created, and we're saying this is how it is. And then if you say nothing else is possible, that is to say there's no spiritual knowledge but only the material, then you're entrapped in that. That is Satan. But Satan serves you. I mean, the fact that you have a perception of a material world means you don't bump into things. So it does serve you, but only we get to times where it does no longer serve us, where we need to find a new knowledge that we can then make into a reality, incorporate into this reality. And that is Lucifer. Anything is possible. But as I said, how far do you go on that? You know, there are boundaries. If it no longer, if it impacts negatively on everything else, don't go there. Again, that's your boundary. It needs to be in balance. So, and if that is truth, then you can see it in this world. This world is proof of what you are saying, or what I'm saying. Now, first of all, the way repentance should work, by continuously giving to one another. Can you see that in this world? And I read an article in Belfast Live this morning about COVID and the common cold. And there was an admission in there that this year we have a really bad cold going around here in Northern Ireland. And that is because we have not been mixing. We have not been giving to one another. We have not been updating our immune system. And then see in the form, in biology, in your biology, what is actually your immune system. It is the knowledge of your body, of good and evil. It is the knowledge of your body of what will serve it and what will destroy it. And it will fight evil. And we're working this by continuously giving to one another. On another level where you could see how we could work this is if you see people that are too far, that is to say, they are imbalanced. Either for themselves, like depression. Depression has been too much in the place that says, for myself I can do nothing. So then we should encourage them. We should show them truth, that there are possibilities. We should bring hope. On the other hand, and this is in this world at the moment, when people are imbalanced too much on the other hand, that is to say anything is possible, and receiving for myself. Now Jesus' teaching was imbalanced in the part of Lucifer, saying anything is possible, therefore move mountains. No. But it actually brought the correction of Lilith. And that's what I want to talk about in the end. But So people are only firing on two cylinders. Some of us do. In capitalism, people do. And as I said, this thought that had been tied back for myself, I can receive, that swung back with a vengeance. And that energy, some are really working on that. So they're imbalanced in that they're only firing on two cylinders, are firing on I can receive, and everything is possible, and for myself. So that is where the new kings of capitalism are coming from. It is an imbalance. And then we should redress, we should rebuke that imbalance. And then it is, as I said, it's the duty of every part to be a balanced part in the whole. Now another thing is, I'll come to that in the end. There's another article I read on Zero Hedge today that was actually it had a meaning. Anyway, so that is how we work balance, by encouraging others and by rebuking others. When we see that somebody is too far into I can do nothing, or where we can see that others are branching out too much into I can do anything, and it is impacting negatively on the whole. Those are both wrong. They are against balance. Now, the correction of Lilith. Now, in the old story, it was that Lilith was the knowledge or the desire to receive. But as I said, it was for myself to rule over. That's why she was kicked out of the garden. She wanted to rule over everything else. She wanted to be on top. And a lot of people are working that. It is a truth in them. This sentence of, for myself I ask nothing, which was a thorn in my side for the longest time. And again, it is not the teaching that is wrong. It is the doctrine, it is the interpretation. Because this is the correction of Lilith. You must remember that this teaching was given at the wrong time. It was out of season. It was given at a time when the world was not ready. So Jesus said, when the time comes, you will know what I said. At the time the teaching was given, the world was under the law. It understood reality as retribution and punishment and being given. And the church doctrine, so that is seen through the eyes of judgment, interpreting this reality as a judgment. So then this sentence is interpreted through the eyes of judgment. So for myself I ask nothing is repentance, means you've admitted you've done something wrong. It was wrong for me to ask anything for myself. But and that is still the going interpretation, still looking at it through the eyes of judgment. But if you get out of judgment, and say, this is not judgment, but just a statement of fact. For myself, I receive nothing. For myself, I ask nothing. And then you understand an understanding that we are coming into now. That is the understanding of connectiveness of everything. Then you know you do not receive just for yourself. Because whatever you work has an impact of everything else, on everything else. Unless you live in a bubble, you do not receive for yourself. You are connected to everything else. And, your energy, the energy you work, what you've received and the energy you work, impact on other energies around you, you're creating waves. And then if you go by what goes around comes around, then you have karma. So sooner or later it will bite you in the backside. So that is the true meaning of the sentence of "for myself I receive nothing." It is just a statement of fact. That is how it is. But that, through the eyes of judgment, you would not be able to see that. So that is the correction of Lilith. What we still have to correct is the lunatic Lucifer that says anything is possible, go around moving mountains. Not if it creates imbalance, don't. So that's the last, and that is what I said, the only way you could work Lilith in her fullness. I receive for myself and only for myself. You have to be in a bubble. Now there was this article, and that is what the rich have done. They've created bubbles. They've created their own reality. Because they have their parts where they live, and they have parts where we live. And they are two different realities. And as I said, this article I saw on Zero Hedge this morning was this affluent part of LA that is now what they say is coming down with homeless people. Yeah? And that is basically the reality that they have created and that they're working in. That reality, both parts of it, is now intruding into their bubble. And I hope it does them good. They should see the fullness of reality. It is intruding into this little bubble of a perfect little world that they have created, completely ignoring the other part, the imbalance. So now here's the last thought, and that is, if you say the only way you can do this is to be in a bubble, that is to say you have to be not in this world. Because in this world, what you receive and what you do, receiving and giving are nearly instantaneously the same thing. The moment you receive, you start a reaction. Unless you live in a bubble. And I would say that is New Jerusalem. Create a bubble where you can have your own way. But you're no longer in this world. Create your own world. That is the picture of New Jerusalem. You're in there and you're creating your own reality. And they created a new world in that bubble. I don't think that is the point of all of this. The point is to have the knowledge of balance. And as there are so many different environments that create balance in different ways, using different parts, the knowledge of balance in this world is great, and we should strive to find it. Not to rule over it, not to get for ourselves, but to learn the lesson of this world. This world is a teacher, and it aims to save you by giving to you of its knowledge, and that is the knowledge of balance. And the more we learn it, the happier we will be, the more content we will be, the more safe we will feel. And that is the way of light, and we should walk on it. And as I said, work this repentance by continuously giving to one another. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.